Packers come back to Lambeau, still seeking to play a complete game. Will this be the week the Packers finally look sharp and take control of a game in the first half? Stick around for our prediction.
Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha.
Welcome back in. Sounds good. Another episode. On this episode, we are going to preview the Arizona Cardinals coming into Lambeau to take on the Packers. Appreciate you guys coming back in. My name is Rob Ralph. My co-host here is my best friend as well. His name is Jordan Olson. Just know that we do have new content coming out every Wednesday and Saturday in season. And look for us, obviously, on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe, Apple Podcast, and Spotify too as well. So, early predictions, Jordan R, for this game. The Packers are going to come out minus 5.5 point favorites. The Cardinals just did go in, and as we said this before with another few teams, beat the 49ers 24-23. What are some key things, storylines, stats, whatever it might be that you're looking for as far as the Cardinals heading into Lambeau this weekend?
Yeah, and that early spread, 5.5 points, that's really, we're coming very early week, and I don't know that the Vegas lines have adjusted yet. It might move a little bit, but with the Packers winning, the Cardinals getting a close one, I expect it more or less to stay the same. Might move to 6 points or, maybe move down to 4.5 points, something like that. But I think the money will go on the Packers as the week goes on, and we'll see. The Cardinals beating the Niners makes this a more interesting game going into next week, or, with Saturday today. So going into tomorrow's game, Saturday as you all listen to this, but going into tomorrow's game, there's going to be a lot of hype from the Cardinals, very different look as opposed to if we were playing a 1-4 Cardinals team at home. So, I think that Kyler Murray's a mobile quarterback. James Conner's a capable running back. I think we might be looking at a game plan on both sides of the ball very similar to what we saw against the Colts. The team reminds me very much against the Colts. Now, Anthony Richardson's a much more bigger, imposing dude than Kyler Murray, but Kyler can do some of the same things, and James Conner's kind of, he's a similar running back. Maybe not quite as good to Kyron Williams and Jonathan Taylor. So, I don't know. A couple of my early thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm scared of Kyler Murray. I think him and Lamar Jackson scare me the most. He got a 40-yard run for a touchdown against the 49ers. I think he ended up running for like 83 or 84 yards or whatever it is specifically. So, he's going to be tough to stop. We all remember Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Wisconsin Badgers, and when he would toast us being at Ohio State. So he's a very good, talented wide receiver that they got in the first round. They got another really good draft pick in Darius Robinson out of Missouri that I really liked. Another one that was almost touted to go to the Packers too as well. Though I know we were more than a few of these draft picks, Jordan. Max Melton from Rutgers. And I was really on the Trey Benson State, too, from Florida State.
Even more on the back end, Elijah Jones would have been from Boston College. That was one that I had tabbed to be reunited with Hafley and Taylor. Dadrian Demerson, he was a safety that we were looking at extensively. Very fast, athletic guy. Tip Riemann might be one of the best blocking tight ends in this whole draft. He blew up the combine film, just pushing the crap out of that sled. I know he got a lot of play after that, but I don't know if these young guys are going to start clicking as they go on, but I think they had a great draft, and at some point in time, a lot of these guys are going to pop for the Cardinals. I'm just hoping it's not in week 6.
Yeah, absolutely. You can pick any other time to do that besides this weekend up at Lambeau. But yeah, just some more offseason highlights though for them too. They picked up Jonah Williams, DJ Dallas, Chris Moore, Justin Jones, defensive tackle, Mac Wilson Sr., linebacker, Bilal Nichols, defensive tackle, Sean Murphy Bunting, cornerback. I think that might be the first time I haven't butchered a name when I've gone down a list of names. So I'm going to give myself a big old pat on the back as far as that one goes. Yeah, I mean, they both come off some pretty good and entertaining wins, and great wins too. The Cardinals against the 49ers, the Packers down in SoFi against the Rams. So, I mean, again, we've been we've been pushing quite a bit for our pass rush to show up, but you know what kind of pass rush do we get? We get some more that can contain. I think you might have to do that with Kyler Murray, who is just absolutely electric. I really do feel like the key to the game, besides stopping the run for them and James Conner, because I do think he's a very good running back, containing Kyler Murray. Like, if we can contain Kyler Murray, not have him run for a 40-yard TD on us, limit that, and then get a takeaway or two, I think that we can win this game. But if he gets out, he gets loose, I think that'll be tough for us to stop.
Yeah, we didn't mention it the last episode, but I mean, the Packers kind of at least temporarily broke their California curse with that win in Los Angeles. But yes, let's go. We'll see if we can do that next time we visit Florida, which I don't think we do this season. Maybe the playoffs for the Bucks or something like that. But I have a feeling that the California teams are going to come and play again later down the road at some point in time. But I agree with you. And we talked a lot about the pass rush. We've been talking a lot about the pass rush. And I just don't think that this is going to be a game where we should be pounding on the drum for a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
Because if we're pinning our ears back and going after the quarterback,
he's going to get loose.
He's going to get loose, and he's going to hurt us. So I caution Packers fans, this week is maybe not the week to continue sounding the alarm on the pass rush. You know, I'd still hope that we could end up with another game where we get 2 or 3 sacks and we get to Kyler. But yeah, let's not get overboard on that, because I think they're going to have a very specific game plan. So you mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. He's like a folk hero coming out of Ohio State, son of NFL great Marvin Harrison. And man, I loved watching him when I was a teen. He was awesome. And at one point in time, before we struck it rich with the wide receivers that we do have on the roster, like 2 years ago, I'm like, how great would that be to have Marvin Harrison on our roster? But he's a weapon. It looks like the 49ers were able to contain him fairly well. And it seems like when teams have contained Marvin Harrison Jr., that it's been hard for the Cardinals to win. Now, that wasn't necessarily the case with the 49ers, but I think if Jair's back, or whoever we put on him can keep him away from that 100-yard touchdown performance, I think we stand a pretty good chance. So I'm hoping the secondary is healthy. And I would love to see a Ja versus Marvin Harrison matchup.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be really good. And that's a really good point. And also just a stab to the heart to my Marvin Harrison Jr. on both my redraft leagues, and Kyler Murray, by the way. So, can you tell I'm writing a lot on the Arizona Cardinals for my fantasy team this year? Just not this week. So, I just know that, Packers fans. It's always Packers.
Let's go back to your Arizona roots,
Yeah, for sure. Soft spot in my heart, for sure. So.
Yeah. But just kind of looking at, and these are, I tentatively pulled these knowing we're going to record this earlier in the week, where the Cardinals were at through 4 weeks. So this doesn't really include any of their statistics against the 49ers, but pretty good sample size from the first month of the season. The Cardinals defense is a place where we can take advantage. I was expecting to have a little bigger outcome versus the Rams, but again, we shot ourselves in the foot there. So kind of really hard to assess what our ceiling is. But they're 29th in the NFL in points allowed per game at 26.5. That's not going to change that much, because I think they gave up 23 points to the Niners, right? But they're 27th in the NFL in rush yards. So again, another game where Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, and the Packers rushing attack could take advantage. Again, more similarities to our Indianapolis Colts game plan. I think we repeat that game plan, but put Jordan Love at the helm instead of Malik Willis, and I hope we have a success again.
I don't think they'll rush the ball, 50 plus times, but yes, I see what you mean. Tout the ball, run the dang rock. Yes, absolutely. Even similar to this Rams game too, right? Like, when they were giving it to Josh Jacobs in that first half, he was cooking, man. Like, he was getting some yards. He was getting some good. His average was pretty good there too. So yeah, absolutely. Get the ball running. Get some more of your orbit motions and that stuff that you like to do, and then build the play action off of that. And insert Tucker Kraft and Devontae Wicks catching the ball.
Dontavian Wicks. I know you want him to be Devontae Adams 2.0, but we're not
I
quite
just need
there
to call
yet.
him Wicks. Wicks just needs to catch the ball, okay? That's my whole point. I'm going to quit butchering names. Jordan, it's your turn.
And offensively, they're in passing yards per game. So again, I think if we go ahead
Stop
and
Kyler Murray.
we stop Kyler Murray and James Conner on the ground, we can limit Marvin Harrison, and I don't think that they're going to hurt us, especially if we're healthy in the secondary. So just a few, we're kind of, we're really beaten at that theme, but I think that there's a good chance that they can be well prepared with some of the game plans they've done already and have a good outcome against the Cardinals. One thing I'll note is Trey McBride scares me.
Yeah.
And this is no discredit to Dallas Goedert. He is aging a little bit, but I think Trey McBride might be the best tight end the Packers have faced this season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very, very good against the Niners. I think he got 9 or 10 targets, too, coming back off of his injury. So they're going to target him, often, quite a bit, him and Marvin Harrison Jr. Michael Wilson, I think he's another one of their wide receivers. He was targeted quite a bit, too, there, too. So, yeah, it starts with Kyler Murray, James Conner, stopping that. Then if you can contain Marvin Harrison Jr. and limit, I don't know if you're going to be able to completely stop it, but limit Trey McBride. I think those are some foundational, things of success for the Packers.
Well, you stop all four of those guys, and I mean that they've got no offense, and that's just not going to happen. So I'll be interested to see. It's like the Hydra, right? Which heads of the monster are you going to cut off? This past week versus the Rams, we were soft over the middle. So I'm worried again that Trey McBride might eat there.
Yes.
If we allow that. And our linebacker play still hasn't been great in coverage. So I'd expect that to be a big part of their game plan for this week, is to try to toughen up over the middle and limit that. Maybe it's a big game for Evan Williams to get on the field, or put Javon Bullard on him, one of those two, and try to at least eliminate him from the Cardinals' game plan.
Trey McBride, yeah.
Trey McBride, yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. That too, and I was thinking, how much quarterback spy are they going to play? And is Edgerrin Cooper, who is coming more and more alive as the Packers games goes on, as the more athletic, really fast and agile linebacker, going to be on 100% quarterback spy on Kyler Murray. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, we didn't mention Cooper in our last pod, but yeah, he had a sack last week, and I expect him I'll be interested to see how many snaps that he actually played at. My eyes tell me that he was on the field more often than he's been through the first 4 weeks.
Agreed.
And I continue based on what I saw last week versus the Rams. I expect that to continue, but he looks like he can be shot out of a cannon, and he gets after the QB.
He's fast, man. I mean, I'm sure he'll get taken advantage of by your ground and pound type of running backs, not being the bigger type of linebacker, but man, is he fast. And I'd want him, covering some of these slot receivers, some of these dynamic running backs, and then quarterbacks like Kyler Murray. Like, I think this is a perfect game plan for him, be able to get some quarterback spy on Kyler Murray.
Yeah, and it's way too early as we record this to be talking about injuries. We're going to have to wait to see what happens with, I know there was some talk, hey, Christian Watson's only questionable or whatever. I don't think we'll see Christian Watson this week. You'll probably hear this at the end of the week after the final injury report, so of course I'll say that, and he'll play, which that would be a great surprise for me sitting here at this point in time. Valentine's back. Morgan seems like he's getting closer. We really hope to see Alexander back. We'll see. And then we hope to see Dobbs back in the game plan. And I don't know what approach they'll take. I don't know if they'll take the approach that you're going to have to earn our trust again, and we're not going to scheme up anything for you. Or, I don't know, maybe they'll be like, hey, we heard you, Romeo. We want you to feel a valuable member of this team. Like a valuable member of this team, and maybe they'll draw up something special for him.
Do they want their wide receivers to catch the ball? Throw it to Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, man, I think you're 100% right. Like, if he gets more than 3, 4, 5, 6 targets, whatever it is, the latter rather than the former, that'll be really evident to be like, okay, we'll feed you. come through for us, prove it. Or if they don't, he's in the doghouse, obviously, and he's going to have to work his way back up. So we shall see.
For the Cardinals, one injury of note, I know Garrett Williams has been close to coming back. The Cardinals secondary has been kind of a mess. Trey White, which they picked up from the Bills, has been pretty poor this season. I didn't see his performance against the 49ers, but I know that there's been a lot of talk about the quality of Trey White's play. So they're really probably hoping to get Garrett Williams back, especially if the Packers receiving core at least adds Dobbs back into that mix. So getting into some score predictions here, again, very early as we record this, but what do you think the outcome of this game is going to be, Rob?
Yeah, can we just have a good, solid, complete game and not have an emotional roller coaster? That'd be nice. The Cardinals are definitely another team that's like that too. Like, they can hit fire at any moment. So, you know what? The Packers are back at home. I think they'll continue to get better, clean some things up. They didn't have as many penalties as they've been having, so that was nice. But still a ton of things that they need to execute and be better with as far as the game plan and coming out. So give me the Packers 27-24.
Okay. You took my 27 number. I'm not going to be quite as overzealous on offense as I was this past week versus the Rams, but I do think that they are going to I think they're going to score. I think they're going to score 27 points, and I think they're going to allow 20 to the Cardinals. So I'm going to go with a 27-20 victory versus the Cardinals, cover the spread in a game at Lambeau. And I say that with, I think the Packers will have the game more. I think we'll be less nervous because the Packers will have the game in hand going into the late, and I think the Cardinals score one later in the fourth quarter to bring it to that margin. So probably looking at being ahead by 2 scores going into the final few minutes or second half of the fourth quarter. That's just my gut feeling sitting here right now. So, but yeah, that's what we got for you, folks. So Rob and I are predicting another Packers victory to get the Packers to 4-2 on the season, going into a big game against the Texans. Join us here every Wednesday and Saturday in season for more great Packers content. We appreciate you listening, so make sure to share this with your family, your friends, and other Packers fans. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, and let us know what you think on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to follow us. And as always, connect with us on X. Rob can be found at Robber79 and me at Olson George. So until next time, Packers Nation, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and a good night. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Been wanted this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey.